Rock and roll. All right, party time.
Godzilla said that I should learn to fight my own battles. No.
Godzilla says I have to learn to fight my own battles, that opening just proves to me that we still have a lot of movies to get through for this season. Let me bring up, I am General Lemuel T. Howitzer. This is the Big Monster Briefing Room. Let me bring up my able-bodied assistant. I've got cat hair flying all around me. Let me get my able-bodied assistant in here. Major Millie Hazzard, where are you?
We got to get that on the TikTok. You with the cat hair. You were making peach tea backstage. I said, let's get it on there for the cadets. You said, no, you don't want the cadets.
That's not entertaining.
It's the most entertaining thing ever. You waving your hand about this with the cat hair is entertaining. The whole thing is entertaining, and it's all in the
okay. That might be entertaining a little bit.
It's a little bit entertaining. I think so. Yeah, and thank you for reminding us that we're still in season 4. There's still a lot to look forward to, even though we're picking for the.
This is the last show of the year. This is show 101. It's the last show of the year for us. We're going to take a holiday break. We're going to come back in January, and we still got a lot of movies to get through for season 4. We've got some really weird stuff coming up. I mean, we've got a lot more coming up. We've got Mysterious Island with the giant crab. We've got a couple of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. We're going to do those in one show. And I hope to get a guest for that. We've just got a lot. We're going to do The Tall Man. We're going to do Phantasm. So a lot of weird stuff. And Lair of the White Worm. Every time she just comes up, and you just know that below the belt there, she's going to bite into that guy's weenie. Just makes you with those vampire. Well, not vampire, but snake fangs.
It doesn't feel right, So when do we get season 5? When do you think that will commence?
Season 5? Oh wow! A couple months into 2024.
Okay.
And there is a season 5. I've got all the movies mapped out that I want to put in season 5. So there will be a season 5.
Because we just love the intros. Every time I send somebody over there to look at these shows, they always come back and they talk about the intro. They love the song, Diane Coll. They love the images that you picked out. Like you were talking right now when we first came on, you said, Godzilla says you got to fight your own battles.
Yeah.
You picked up the most adorable and shocking things. And the arachnophobia start is just fantastic. Hello, Cadet Morales is here. Thank you, Cadet Morales. We always look forward to your comments.
So we've still got The Mummy's Hand, Abominable Dr. Phibes, Mysterious Island, Phantasm, Lair of the White Worm, Son of Frankenstein, Day of the Dead, Bride. That's the one where the arms come through the wall. Bride of the Monster, Legend of Boggy Creek, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1 and 2, and Ghidorah, the Three-Headed Monster. We got all those coming up, season 4. I haven't changed the dates on season 4 and 5 yet, but we've got also in season 5 coming up Mummy's Tomb, Men in Black, Fright Night, Ghost of Frankenstein, Prophecy, and Cocaine Bear. We're going to put those in one episode.
Oh, wow.
Cocaine Bear, yes. And I hope to get John Duncan from Tasmania.
What is Cocaine Bear? I've never heard of this.
You haven't heard of Cocaine Bear?
I've never heard of Cocaine Bear.
That's very certain that some of our... movie.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like last year. And Prophecy is I had to put it on with Prophecy because Prophecy was like a famous a mutant bear movie back in the late 1980s or late 1970s. I'm sorry, early 80s. It might have been actually 1980. Anyway, Child's Play 1 and 2 in an episode, House of Wax, Varan, the Unbelievable in color for the first time, Zombieland, Mothra versus Godzilla 1964, Wolfman 2010, the newer one with Benicio del Toro and Anthony Hopkins. Dracula's Dog, The Black Scorpion, first time in color, Frankenstein Conquers the World, Invasion of the Saucermen, Maximum Overdrive, and Them, first time in color. So that's what I've got planned for season 5. So there's a lot of good stuff coming up. And that's 129 movies.
That's absolutely amazing. You know, Cadet Gannon said Cocaine Bear was hilarious. He has seen it, so I figured it out.
You know, I haven't seen it yet. I've got it. I just haven't watched it yet.
And then somebody else said Lair of the White Worm is pretty odd. I'm interested to see how you all dealt with that one.
It's extremely odd. And a lot of sexual overtones in that. So
I'm looking forward to it.
It's got Hugh Grant of all people in it, and one of the Doctor Who's Capaldi, he's in it. So it's like a Scottish take on a story by Bram Stoker, who wrote Dracula, but instead of vampires, it's snake people. So
oh wow, this is a little interesting.
Amanda Donohoe, who people remember as the boss in Liar Liar. Plays the snake lady. If she bites you, you turn into a snake person.
Wow.
And she controls you.
Interesting.
So it's really weird. It's very weird.
When are we going to be doing the Nicolas Cage version of Wicker Man?
Is
that a big monster?
I don't know. You know, we might throw that in somewhere. We might bump something off a list and throw that in. So I don't know. Season 6.
It's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. It's more hilarious than Cocaine Bear.
Hilarious?
Sure. Oh my gosh, Nicolas Cage.
The first Wicker Man was so depressing. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Have you seen the Nicolas Cage version?
I haven't. I figured that they would kind of follow suit, but you're saying it's hilarious. It's a comedy.
Okay, this is now your homework, General. Get yourself a nice
the Wicker Man movies, the comparison show. We'll have to do them in a single timeline.
Get yourself. I mean, you know, it's iconic. Everybody, any of the cadets who saw the remake of Wicker Man, please weigh in here. But yes, there you go. So Cadet Morales said, all in capitals. He's very emphatic. You better have me on for Cage Wicker Man. You see, he's very passionate. He's very passionate.
He's demanding. Look at him. He's demanding.
Because you haven't seen the film
yet, General. He comes on for every Jason Voorhees film and every zombie movie we do. Oh my God! Are there zombies in it?
Well, you'll wish there were zombies in it because this thing is just watch it. It is indescribable. Cadet Morales, how could you describe this to General? I don't even know how to describe Wicker Man. All I know is when you watch it, you'll know what we mean, and you will remember this conversation, and you'll be very grateful.
I will be grateful. Okay, if you say so.
You'll be grateful that we'll be grateful that you know you're gonna wish you had an hour and a half back of your life probably afterwards. But Renfield was Nicolas Cage's finest work. Okay.
Renfield, yes, I saw Renfield. Actually, I want to do that one on the show because it is a hysterical take on the vampire Renfield relationship. It's really funny.
Yes, and
I definitely want to do that on the show. So I might bump something off the list for that. You know, we'll get rid of Dracula's dog and do Renfield instead. You know, although Dracula's dog.
Yes.
That's going to be a fun show.
Cage's acting is comparable to a zombie. Exactly. Thank you, Cadet Morales. That's what I was trying to say. I wasn't witty enough, but absolutely.
I don't know why you're dead set on Nicolas Cage. I know my Nicolas Cage sounds like Keanu Reeves, but anyway. Today,
all right, let's keep going.
It's Pearl Harbor Day. It's Pearl Harbor Day. So we're going to do, and Godzilla -1 is taking the country by storm. It's taking the continent by storm. They just extended its release to America and Canada because it's making so much money for Toho. So it really is a good movie. If you guys haven't seen it, go see it with a Dolby theater or a THX sound theater. So when Godzilla roars, you feel it, you know, and when he stomps on people, you feel it. Not like they feel it, of course, but you know what I mean. So we're doing Godzilla's Revenge in honor of that, in honor of this particular phenomenon that's happening in America. Godzilla -1's taken over the country by storm. I am amazed to see that the Criterion Collection decided to give Godzilla's Revenge a Criterion version of the film. And,
you know what?
The Japanese version isn't really as silly as the Americanized version. And the pictures from this timeline come from the Japanese version because it's a better quality copy. But yeah, in this movie, a little kid fantasizes about going to Monsterland, Monster Island, to meet his hero, which is Minya, he calls him, Minilla, the son of Godzilla. So he dreams about going to Monster Island and meeting Minya. We'll say Minya. And Minya has the voice of Goofy.
Wow.
Hi there. How are you? So it's kind of strange. In the movie in Japan, he sounds more like a Japanese kid, you know. So again, that works a little better than "Hey, Godzilla says." You know, but in any case, let's go ahead and start our timeline. Let's get into it. We're already 11 minutes in, and there's the familiar Toho logo for the company. Been making movies for so long, and as usual, in the opening credits of these Toho films, the new monster in the film, that's what you see in the opening credit title. That's actually Gabara, who is the new monster in this film. This is the only movie that Gabara was in, and that's him on the bottom left, the bluish kind of cat-like guy with the orange hair on top. He is Minya's main nemesis in this. And this movie was... They were going to end the franchise with Destroy All Monsters in 1968. And it made so much money that Toho decided, okay, we're going to give you a small budget to do one more Godzilla film. And most of it is actually reused footage from the previous 3 films. I'm sorry to say. There are some original scenes filmed, like I said, with Gabara. The beginning of the film starts with shots of Japan. I'm guessing Tokyo. No, you were on the right slide there. And I guess the director... who is the director of many of these films. I guess this was his commentary on the pollution that was happening in the country at the time. Because there's a lot of shots in the opening that show a lot of pollution, really, a lot of especially air pollution. And again, right after this, they did Godzilla versus the Smog Monster. So again, that was a concern back at that time. This was 1969 when this one was done. In 71, they did Hedorah, the Smog Monster. So, yeah, they were concerned that the children were, you know, sucking up all this carbon dioxide. So we meet our hero, a little boy named Achiro. He's probably about 8-10 years old here. And he's walking to school with one of his flatmates, a little girl, and they get passed up by a Gabara's gang. He has a kid named Gabara who has a gang, and they pass him on the bridge and push him out of the way. And they're mean. These kids are mean. They're bullies. That's Gabara in the red shirt. He's got a big fat kid that's with him too. And it's that kid that's shaming the other kid for being small, being tiny. So that's the whole sumo wrestling thing going on over there. That whole logic, you know, if you're a big fat guy, it's okay. You're gonna grow up and be a sumo wrestler. But if you're a little scrawny kid like you, we're just gonna beat you up every day. So that's what a lot of this film is about, is this kid getting picked on by Gabber and his gang. So yeah, he's in a fantasy land though. He's like, hey, that car that when it was screeching over there, it sounded like Minya. It's like, are you okay? are you playing with a full deck? And again, we get more shots of the pollution and all, and all the cars and everything, and the trucks on the highway. And again, I'm pretty sure there's social commentary on what Japan was becoming at that time. And again, this was where they were coming up on 1970, and here the country is getting polluted. I'm sure that was director's commentary there. So we find out that Ichiro's father is a train conductor. He drives, or he's an engineer. I'm sorry, engineer. He drives the train. So Ichiro says hey to his dad, and he says, hey, I got to work late tonight, and I think your mom does too. You're probably going to be eating with your neighbor who watches you a lot. And this is the poor kid's life. Everybody's got to work hard. Everybody's got to work 2 jobs. That kind of thing. He finds a test tube by the side of the road. He shines it up on his coat, puts it away. Little girl's like, ew, that's gross. You shouldn't hold those kind of things. He's like, this would be great for my computer at home. And we find out he's got a little toy computer that he's made at home, and he puts little parts and stuff on it. Like most kids do. That age. Making junk. To play with. And his dad is just talking to his friend there. He's like, my kid, he's kind of weird. I just wish, he would make friends and, not talk about monsters all the time. And again, growing up, guilty as charged. Then if the friend pulls out in the newspaper, hey, it was a big bank robbery. They're stealing cars and stuff, and they stole a whole bunch of money. And that's important because the bank robbers come into play in this movie. They become a big part of this movie later. Make myself more presentable. So there's a guy painting a sign on the side of the road. He's riding up on his motorcycle, and I don't know how he got all the paint cans on the motorcycle, but there it is. And as Ichiro and his friend come up on the guy, they see Gabara's gang again. Uh-oh. What are they going to do now? How are they going to pick on this kid now? And I just noticed that one of Gabara's gang is wearing the same cap that Ichiro is wearing. I didn't notice that before. It's funny how you don't notice things until you've seen it a few zillion times, and then, oh, hey, look at that. So, yeah, they're just picking on him, and usually when they pick on him, he just runs away because he doesn't want to fight. He's not a fighter. He's a lover, not a fighter. That's why he's hanging out with the little girl. So they take his test tube away from him, and he runs away. And he goes to his flat, his poor, lonely-looking apartment building there, and he goes to his flat. And you're thinking to yourself about this time, hey, why aren't we seeing any Godzilla? Why aren't we seeing any monsters? And his neighbor, who's a good friend, is an inventor, and he makes inventions for kids. He makes toys, and he makes inventions for kids. And Ichiro doesn't seem to be too excited about his inventions. He's making a special computer here for kids to learn things about, space exploration and stuff like that. And Ichiro's like, hey, can you make a computer that'll take me to Monster Island? He's a one-track kid. He's got a one-track mind. Have you seen this training film, Hazzard?
I'm watching it right now. This is how I'm getting exposed to it.
Yeah, you didn't do your homework. You didn't watch the film?
I didn't watch the film, but I'm watching it now. I'm learning as much as possible.
Well, okay then.
All right.
Do you think the kid is cute?
Of course I do. I know how you feel about the kids in these training films, though. I already know.
Yeah, usually I don't like the kids. They're obnoxious. This kid, I kind of feel for him though.
You're going a little bit easy on this one. Yeah, you're being a little bit nicer for this one.
Yeah. And the voice isn't too annoying in the American dub either.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't sound like a female. He doesn't sound like a girl playing a kid.
Yeah.
Which again, I don't mind in some cases. Like Bart Simpson is voiced by a girl. is voiced by a lady. In some cases it sounds right. It sounds okay. But and then this film, it sounds okay. But like Godzilla versus Megalon, that kid, oh man, I just wanted Megalon to eat the kid. So anyway, yeah, he's showing him the computer, and the kid's not impressed. He's like, yeah, if you take me to Monster Island, then I'm impressed, And he steps on his friend steps on a soldering iron, and he goes, oh yeah, and the kid, of course, is like, hey, was that you doing Minya or Gabara or whatever, doing whatever monster? And he's like, no. And he goes back to his room by himself, disappointed. Nancy Cartwright, yeah, she does Bart. Yeah, you're right.
Don't ever kill, man.
And Nancy Kavner does Marge Simpson.
Oh my!
I love that laugh. Cute little laugh. Okay, so let's move forward. So he pulls out his little computer that he's made, and he's asking it, okay, how do I get to Monster Island? Do I take a plane? And he starts to dream about going to Monster Island. And he's on a plane. I'll wait for it. There he is. And he's on a plane with a bunch of people. And as in most dreams, weird shit happens. So all the other people disappear. And he seems very happy about it. I'll wait for it. There it is. So he goes running to the front of the plane, and he opens the door, because back in that time, in 1969, you could actually just go up and talk to the pilots. There was none of this stuff, In the 1970s, the bombers that were bombing these planes, they screwed it up for everybody. Nobody can have fun anymore on an airplane. They got to sleep and watch the in-flight movies, and that's it. So this kid goes up and he opens the door, and there's nobody in the pilot seats. It's automatic pilot. Dun, 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 dun. There's something else I want to talk about. The music in this is very childish. This film is definitely marketed to children, and I'll tell you why. In the late 60s, Ultraman took over television. I mean, there was all kinds of Ultraman on television in the late 1960s. That took over. And it was definitely marketed to kids. And the monsters became kind of goofy and buffoonery, and Ultraman would kill them. And they decided to go the same route with Godzilla. They decided to make him kind of a nice, kids love him. And they threw Minion, his son. So the whole thing kind of took a turn towards marketing to kids. And this one is definitely the first big step in that direction. So I'm sure that the director of the original Godzilla, who directed this, I always want to say Jun Fukuda, but it's not. It's the name escapes me right now. Somebody will probably mention it in just a second. Minute. I hate when I have a brain fart like that and I can't remember somebody's name. Anyway, he directed several of the Godzilla films. He also directed the first one. He directed this one. I'm sure he didn't like directing this one because it was such a weird, different departure from the original Godzilla. Godzilla was always kind of menacing and scary and stomping on people and tail crushing buildings and that kind of thing. And yeah, there it is, So, but now he's just kind of, I don't know. He's not that scary in this. I mean, he's scary to the kid because, you don't want to be stepped on or breathe. You don't want to breathe atomic fire on you. But anyway. So yeah, the kid's having a dream. He gets to Monster Island. Next slide is Monster Island. Dun, 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 dun. They do some negative effect and stuff like that. And boom, boom, he's there. He's on the island. It's a dream sequence. So you see the little kind of oval around the side. That means dream sequence. Definitely marketed to children. Yeah, we're all just a kid at heart. Yeah. So some people enjoy that. So okay, so then the first thing we get is a completely different Godzilla. We get the 1967 Godzilla from Son of Godzilla, and the Gamakuras. The fight with the Gamakuras from that film is thrown here, and the kids watching from the jungle as Godzilla. And this I believe is a female Godzilla. I believe that in my heart. From Son of Godzilla. Very little head, looks different from the usual Godzillas. And the kid goes climbing up in a tree because he hears Anguirus. And yeah, he sees a lot of the monsters that we've seen on Monster Island, called Monsterland and Destroy All Monsters. And again, this is all footage from Destroy All Monsters. You know, we see, go ahead and hit the next slide. We see, Gorosaurus, which is actually from King Kong Escapes. We see Anguillas from Destroy All Monsters. We see Manda from Destroy All Monsters. I thought we saw Rodan too, but probably. And then we see the giant condor. This is most kaiju fans' least favorite monster from the Monsterverse, from the Toho Monsterverse. Giant condor. So he comes and attacks Godzilla. This scene is also from from Godzilla versus the Sea Monster. Godzilla versus Ebera. Go ahead and hit that next slide. He attacks Godzilla, and that's what Godzilla looks like in that movie. Again, we see different versions of Godzilla in this movie, and I guess we're supposed to not know that. Wait a minute, Godzilla looks completely different from what he looked like a few seconds ago. Wait a minute, hold on. What the hell? I guess we're getting different Godzilla designs from different movies in stock footage. And this is a kind of a Muppety looking Godzilla from Godzilla versus the Sea Monster. So he fries the giant condor as it tries to fly away, and it ends up, turkey boiling hot in the water. Not a very long scene. Not a very long sequence. But for the sake of this movie, yeah, it's another scene that you can watch. The kid is then chased by a Kamakura. He falls down into a cave. And now we know it's a dream sequence because the kid falls about a mile down, and he's barely hurt. He's bumped his little bum. He's bumped his little butt. Oh. And he's touching his butt. Right?
Oh yes, I was on mute. I was laughing.
I see you there. I see you there. So I know you wanted to say something. So
I was saying something, and it was much better the first time around. I didn't know I was muted. There we go. Anyways, but I also wanted to draw attention to Cadet Morales that they did that with the Gamera films also, where it was definitely marketed to children. I still enjoy them. We're all just a kid at heart, anyways. Yes.
The Gamera films definitely were marketed to kids most of the time. Only the first one was really not marketed to kids, and he became the defender of all the children. Rory getting graphic. What does Rory have to do with this? Anyway, so he's trying to climb up the walls to get out of this very deep cave or cavern, and something puts like a vine down for him to grab onto and pulls him up. And all the time he's in that yellow cap. And he pulls him up, and guess who it turns out to be? It turns out to be Minya, the guy he's been looking for. Yeah, we probably should have done this in Thanksgiving, this movie. Yes. I'm talking about the kid's butt. Yeah, he fell on his butt, and he's not happy about that. But again, he fell like a mile, and he was only mildly bruised. So here he's talking to Minya, and Minya's telling him, it's not easy being on the island here. He sounds like Barney the dinosaur. I never made that connection. That's where Barney the dinosaur comes from. It's Minya, all grown up. He turned purple.
Guy.
And then I think we get Gabara next, which is, it's his Gabara. He's a bully that picks on Mina on the island. That's how he sounds. There he comes. So he's kind of got this cat face, and he's actually a pretty cool looking kaiju, actually. A lot of kaiju fans bust on him, saying he's a weak villain. But actually, I think that they don't like him because he's in this movie, a kids movie marketed to kids. He doesn't get a chance to be really mean or nasty or or ominous. I had wished for a long time now that they would give this monster another shot in the Toho movies, but they never did. They never brought it back. I'd like to see him in a regular movie, not marketed to kids, just fighting with his particular set of powers, and we'll see that in a little bit. He would definitely be awesome to see next to someone like King Ghidorah or Gigan or Megalon. They never brought Megalon back, the giant cockroach. I don't know why. He was kind of an interesting looking monster. He's a badass looking kaiju. Yeah, he is. I've always liked his look. Somebody said he was created from a toad. That's why he's got the bumpy look on his chest and back. So he's reptilian, and yet he's kind of cat-like as well. So that's your Gabara, huh? That's what the kid says. And Gabara walks by, and there's a ringing. And it's ringing in the ears, and Mina goes away, and then the kid becomes encircled in a dark circle in the next slide. And it turns out that it's the neighbor's phone. It would have made more sense if it was a phone in the room with the kid, but I'm not sure why they did that. That he's got ringing in his ears, but it's actually his neighbor's phone. It's the mother calling the neighbor to tell him, hey, you're going to have to take care of my kid again because I got to work late. And in the background, you can see the local police visiting. So he wakes up Ichiro and he says, dinner at my house tonight. Again? He's like Rocky J. Squirrel in the Bullwinkle movies. Again? So he goes out to kind of play around a little bit while there's still some sun out, and he runs into Gabara's gang. Uh-oh. Look at that kid. That is a mean-looking kid, isn't it? Got his head on sideways, too. Yeah. 1969, we're going to mess you up, man. Gabara. The real Gabara. So he goes running. The little kid goes running. He's not going to let them take any of his stuff again. And they're all, blah, ha, 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 the same usual kid crap. So he goes running, and he finds an old building that he goes into the courtyard there, and he goes in the building to see if he can find anything cool. It's an old warehouse. It's dilapidated and not being used. And it's convenient for the plot. That's the story. So he goes in there. And the place is kind of trashed, kind of old. And he goes upstairs and he hears noises. And he finds a passport. And he finds a pair of headphones that he likes. So he takes those, and he finds a passport on the ground, and he takes that. And he runs off. And inside a locker there, and again, the place looks like it's been deserted for like maybe 40 years. I think they did their job a little too well in this design, this set. But these two guys are the bank robbers that we heard about earlier. They're the bank robbers. And it's two of the guys that are in just about all of the Godzilla films, especially the older guy with the sunglasses, drinking. He's in almost all of them. And the other guy, the younger guy, is in quite a few. Hello, General. Mr. Duncan, welcome. We're talking about Godzilla's Revenge. 1969 training film. And the older guy's like, hey, you let the kid get you dropped your passport on the ground. You got to let your kid get your passport. You got to go follow the kid now. Find out where he's going. You got to get that passport back. So the younger guy leaves the money behind, and he follows the kid. He goes out. He sees the kid, follows after him to where he lives. So kids, always be careful. You could be followed by a bank robber. Make sure you look over your shoulder. Make sure there's no bank robbers following you. So now here's a funny part. The kid, the car is being sold. They got a sign on it, for sale. And this is like the kid's landlord. And in the original movie, he's kind of tough. Hey, get away from the car. Yeah, what's wrong with you? But in the American version, he's like, hey, get away from the car. Stop it, you. I don't know why they did that. They turned his character into kind of like a comical Paul Lynde kind of character. Stop. Don't do that. Go home, Michiro. So, yeah, if you watch the American version, yeah, you'll see it. Anyway, so the bank robber sees that. And he comes up to the car because he's thinking, hey, I might be able to hotwire this bad boy. And the guy comes out and he's like, you looking to buy? And he looks up and he sees a Chiro getting some laundry off the back porch. I'll tell you, in Asian culture, they don't use dryers. They just hang everything on the back porch, on the balcony and let it dry. So this is very, very Asian. So Chiro goes and gets some clothes off the back porch. The guy sees it. He hears a siren and he's like, hey, I'll come back later, man. Yeah, see you later. So he knows where the kid lives. So then Chiro goes to his friend's house, his inventor friend, and they have, that's an odd edit. Anyway. They're eating, and he's like eating to get his strength up because he's going to take another dream trip to Monster Island, he thinks. He's going to try. And then the police show up. And they're saying, yeah, well, we saw the car downstairs, and, if that's your car, please make sure it's locked up. And, oh, no, that's not our car. The bank robbers are in the neighborhood, and, So there it is. Police doing their job, making sure everybody knows. There's bad people in the neighborhood, so lock up your cars, lock your homes, which they don't do. They don't lock their homes. Doors wide open. So the kid goes home and he goes to sleep again, and he's back on Monster Island. Mina, come to get me. And Gabara chases him. The minute he gets on the island there, Gabara is there. And he chases him. And finally, they use long bamboo sticks and hang everything out the window in their HDBs. Oh, okay. Yeah. They don't use dryers. Not in China, not in Japan. They're just hanging out the back window. And he sees Minya. And Minya's like, hi there. And this is where he says, Godzilla says I have to fight my own battles, So he's saying, I gotta go fight Gabara. And he's like, oh, he'll kill you. He's big, he's tall, he's twice your size. So he's actually a very tall kaiju. Taller than Godzilla. So the Godzilla calls out and they go, hey, oh, Godzilla's close by. Let's go watch him. So they decide to go watch Godzilla in a scene that was shot in Godzilla versus Ibra, the sea monster. Good peach tea. And it doesn't matter that it's dark and raining now in this shot, but it's not in the scene where they're watching on the sideline. It doesn't matter. Anyway. So the scene plays out, and again, as in Godzilla versus the Sea Monster, Godzilla whoops Ibira's ass, as we know he's going to do, because we've seen it before. And again, this is the kind of Muppety-looking Godzilla from that. Doesn't he look like a Muppet? Hazard?
It looks exactly like a Muppet, of course.
He's very Muppety, doesn't he?
That's why he's so cute. I'm telling you, it's one of the cute ones. Adorable.
So again, look at the darkness in the bottom shot. Look at the
Yep.
darkness in the bottom shot, and then the nice, clear, crisp, clean day up top as they're watching from a cliff.
Yep.
And then it gets better. You know, I mean, the sun comes out down in Ibra land. That happened in the movie because the fight took a long time. And then we get the female Godzilla from Son of Godzilla trudging off to another fight. Wait a minute, that's not the same Godzilla. Look at the small head. Wait a minute. That doesn't look so Muppety. Pretty silly Godzilla. Yeah. So most Godzilla fans, and there's Kumonga, also known as Spiga, is a spider, giant spider that he fights in Son of Godzilla. It's the main villain, actually, in the Son of Godzilla, main bad kaiju. And again, it's the small-headed Godzilla that nobody, most of the kaiju fans don't like this suit, don't like this particular Godzilla. And again, I think it's a female. I think it's his mom. That's why it looks so different from all the other Godzilla suits. So Godzilla fights with Kumonga. She sticks him in the eye. I don't know why I say she. You know, could be a he. I don't know. But sticks him in the eye. Doesn't like it. Sticks her in the eye. I think that's a she. That's a she Godzilla. Minya does a little blue smoke ring. His breath is not powerful enough yet. And Godzilla hits it with the full atomic blast, and that does Kumonga in. But Kumonga sprays him with his spider spray, his web, silly string, whatever you want to call it. But even down for the count, Godzilla hits him with the atomic breath, and it sends him over. Just had to hit him a couple times with it. So they're like, yay, yay, Godzilla wins again, yay. You know. And the children who are watching the movie are happy. They don't care. They don't care if it's movie shots, scenes from earlier movies. They just see Godzilla kicking butt. That's all they care about. All right. Next. Gabara shows up. That spider looks scary. I'll tell you one that was really cool was in the 2004 Godzilla Wars. That Kumonga was gnarly. And it shot out these webs that were like nets, big nets. And they would cover Godzilla. That was pretty cool. So Gabara is on his way. Very tall, very gnarly looking creature. And Minya's like, oh, I gotta fight him. He's like, oh, I'll kill you. Oh, I gotta fight him. Godzilla will think I'm a coward. And he goes out there. He makes himself big. And he gets bigger. No explanation how he can make himself bigger or smaller. But again, it's a kid's dream, so anything can happen in a kid's dream, right? So Minya goes and fights him. Here he is. He's getting bigger. Dun, dun, dun. Next 3 slides. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, we see Minya's groin area in that last shot. Wow, nice. Is that a camel toe? Jeez.
That's what I was going to ask. I'm very uncomfortable looking at it. I think we need to progress, General. I'm very uncomfortable. I'm very uncomfortable looking at that.
He does the smoke ring.
We needed to avert our eyes. It was not. Yeah.
Why did they put that? So he does some serious dancing around Gabara and manages to get away. Gabara is not very. He moves pretty slow. He's like a zombie. He moves pretty slow. You can pretty much run away from him. And so he rolls Minya over, and Minya gets small again and says, "Oh, okay, maybe I'll fight him some other time." And then they see the airplanes. Ooh, jets! They sure are scary. And we go to another previous scene from Godzilla versus the Sea Monster. There's the Muppety Godzilla. Here come the planes. The plane fighting scene. Now, the good thing about this is the music in the original Godzilla versus the Sea Monster was so weird during the scene. It was like, and it's like didn't belong at all. So here we got a better theme, a better action kind of music for this scene in this movie. So Godzilla takes care. He gets fired upon by the jets, and he makes short work of them. He destroys them, just like the giant condor. He makes short work of them. So again, even though he looks Muppety, he looks kind of cool. That's not a bad suit. Not like Son of Godzilla. Whoa, what the hell? So yeah, he just tears him up, and the kid and the Minya are, yay! They're rooting him on. Are those Japanese fighters? Wait a minute. Are you going against the Japanese government? Actually, those fighters in the original movie were from an evil army called the Red Bamboo Army. Big bird with a hangover. So Godzilla defeats the planes, and here we get our first original footage. Other than Gabara, where Godzilla calls his son over, and he's going to teach him how to do the breath. And he shows him, hey, here's the atomic breath. Boom. Now you do it. And at first, Minya does the smoke ring thing, and the kid is laughing to himself. And then Godzilla steps on his tail, and he fires an atomic blast. And it's a good one. It works. So Godzilla is very happy with him. Very, very happy. And then he looks over to the kid, waves to him, and the kid gets kidnapped by a plant. A giant plant that reaches out and grabs him. And it turns out to be the bank robbers. They're in his house. He didn't lock his door. They're in his house, and they've come for him. And they've come for the passport. And I guess they decided to take the kid as a hostage, just to be safe. If you're a bank robber, you do stuff like that. So the young bank robber is wearing his sunglasses at night. I wear my sunglasses at... Oh, they're both wearing sunglasses at night. So go figure. Sorry, I'm going to put some more drink in my mug. Gonna fill up that mug. So they take the kid back. They've got the car. Or actually, he's jump starting the car. So they take the kid back to their warehouse their abandoned warehouse. Meanwhile, the neighbor is meeting with the police again. They're off duty now. And this old guy here that's serving them, he's in just about every Godzilla movie somewhere. He's a funny old guy, and they use him for comic relief in a lot of Godzilla movies. And they're talking about the bank robbers and how much money they stole. And he's like, ooh. So that's a cute scene. And I can't see what's going on there. The kid is in the warehouse, and there's a big hole in the floor. And the kid's smart. He's trying to move the newspapers over the hole so somebody will fall through the hole and hurt themselves. So before there was Home Alone, there was Godzilla's Revenge. And that's exactly how this kind of plays out at the end. Now, but he's going to have one more trip to Monster Island before that happens. So he's, Minya, come to get me, Minya, 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 do. And he's off on another adventure on Monster Island. Because what? The kid's weird, And Gabara right out of the gate. And he's looking very nasty and gnarly. He's got little red hair on the top of his head. He's a ginger, and he's got a little set of horns on his head. Now we find out that Gabara can summon electricity through his arms and his fingers, so he can tase you. Taser face. He can tase you so that you're stunned, and he can beat your butt because you're stunned from his electric. So Gabara is about to make the killer move on Minya when the kid shows up and magically, because it is a dream, is able to lift a boulder and roll it over the edge of a cliff. It hits Minya, who fires an atomic blast, a real atomic blast, at Gabara's face, and it blows up. I mean, his face, yeah. I mean, it's definitely a powerful blast. There he goes, the kid rolling the boulder onto Minya. I mean, the boulder didn't hurt as much, right, as Gabara? I don't know. So anyway, he blows him in the face, and yeah, there's a big explosion there on the face. You can see fire there. So Gabara is really stunned because he wasn't expecting that. But again, he does some chasing after him, and the kid runs under his arm. I'm sorry, not the kid. Minya keeps running under his arm and stuff, and he's not able to grab him again. And then Godzilla shows up, and Minya goes over to Godzilla, and Godzilla pushes him back towards Gabara. Go fight, kid. Show me what you're made of. And unfortunately, yeah, he has to go back and fight Gabara in front of his dad. How would you like that, huh? Your dad's sitting there going, go fight, go kick his butt. Come on. He's twice your size, but go. Come on, kid. I'm right over here. I'm rooting you on. Nice. Nice dad. So Gabara grabs onto him again, and in the next slide, I think, he uses the electric thing again. And stuns him. And Godzilla's like, hey, he's cheating. I don't like that. So Godzilla zaps him with a little atomic breath. And Gabara's angered. You know, he's angry about that. He's not happy that Godzilla zapped him. Zapped him on his feet. Damn ya. So, Minya, it takes the moment to run around the corner. First off, he bites Gabara. Then he runs off. And he meets up with the kid. And the kid said, hey, look down there. White towel close and handy. Dad has a white towel close and handy. I'm not sure what you meant by that. He goes, look, there's a little fulcrum there. Bridge there. When he steps on that, you jump down there and you turn big again. Boom. He'll fly head over ass over tea kettle. Do it. And he's like, oh, that'll work. So, yeah, when Gabara steps on the edge of the tree there, that's a kind of a bridge, the kid gives him the high sign. Go! And Minya turns big as he falls down, lands on the other side, and up and over Gabara goes. And he lands on his face. You gotta love that. So Minya wins. Look at that. Just by using his noggin. Actually, it was the kid. The kid told him what to do. But he won. He beat Gabara. He beat the bully. And in front of his dad, too. Next. And the kid's cheering it on. And Godzilla's happy. Oh, my son kicked his butt. Good, good. That Gabara has lost again. But then Gabara's not happy, so he bites Godzilla. Godzilla's a little too close to him. He bites him on the thigh. Ooh, ouch. Ugliest flying mermaid ever. And again, this Godzilla suit is from the last movie, Destroy All Monsters. And they used it in the original footage here. That Godzilla suit is one of my favorites, and they used it all the way through Godzilla vs. Gigan. They used it from Destroy All Monsters through Godzilla vs. Gigan, which was several years later. So the suit made it into like four films. Godzilla vs. Hedorah, the Smog Monster, and then Godzilla vs. Gigan. So like 4 films. Probably the longest, the running Godzilla suit, the 1968 suit. So Godzilla is fighting with Gabara and uses some sweet Japanese judo moves. Yeah. Gabara uses the electric tase on Godzilla, but Godzilla's pretty darn strong. He grabs him by the arm and flips him over. Pew! Done. That's the money shot right there. Flips him right over. There's no wires there. No. And that's it. Gabara is done for. All right. And the kid is happy, and Gabara skulks off into the distance. He's been beaten. The bully has been beaten by the dad. So Minya wants to introduce Godzilla to the kid, but the kid is like,
no, I'm okay. I'm good. No, don't crush me, please.
You know, when you get a chance to meet Godzilla, you know, it's a little scary, especially if you're a kid. So he wakes up. He wakes up and he's in the hands of the bandits, the bad guys. Hey, kid, cry like a little girl. Stop it. That's actually a line from the film. The bad guys in this are worse than the bad guys in Home Alone. They really are. One of them keeps brandishing a switchblade at the kid, the older guy. Let's go ahead and move on. Yeah, there it is. So they take the kid out to the car that the guy has stolen. He's hot-wired it. They're going to make their escape. And I know we're getting close to the end of the show, but that's okay. There's not much left here. The kid's just going to kick these bank robbers' butts, basically, is what it boils down to. He's having trouble restarting the car. He goes out to look under the hood. The other guy that's watching the kid in the back of the car goes to help him. And then Minya shows up, says, Godzilla says you got to fight your own battles, kid. Is the kid Gary Coleman. So yeah, we see some parallels here. He bites one of the criminal on the hand to try to get away because they're chasing after him. He's going back to the into the warehouse because there's lots of places to hide in there. And again, they go after him. They chase after him, of course. Little Benny Hill music. Meanwhile, along comes his neighbor. There's no reason for him to be in that neighborhood, but he sees the car, which is the car that was in front of his building. He looks inside. He sees the bank bag full of money. It's been unzipped. It's wide open. Woo! So he goes and calls the cops while the kid is evading these guys in the warehouse. And one of the guys, as he's honing in on the kid, falls through the hole in the floor that the kid put the newspapers over. Again, smart kid. And the other guy comes after him with the knife, and he sees Gabara. And we're hearing the music, the fight music from Monster Island. Dun, 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 dun. So the kid he starts throwing stuff at the guy first because, you know, you can do that when you're being chased around by bad guys. And then he finds a fire extinguisher. And he uses that like Godzilla's atomic breath to get the guy. You can see the resemblance there, right? From the bank robber and gabara. Again, this is this kid in this kid's mind, which is twisted. There you go. He starts shooting it at this guy, and he covers him up with that fire extinguisher crap. And again, it's Home Alone before Home Alone. And he runs outside, and the police have shown up because the guy, his neighbor, called them up on the phone and said, "Hey, in the car here, we got the bank money." They show up, so they're all waiting outside when these guys come running out of the building, the abandoned warehouse, the old abandoned warehouse from Batman. He has a sign that says "abandoned warehouse" on the front of it. So the kid comes running out. Gah! And his neighbor, Chiro, what are you doing here? You're the bank robber? No, he didn't say that. And the bank robber comes out with, fire extinguisher crap all over him. And they go, okay, that must be the bank robber. They take him into custody. Why they didn't shoot this guy because he's brandishing a switchblade, I don't know. But they got him. The other guy walks by the door, hoping to get away, and they're like, "Hey, you, come here, come on." And they get him. He's got a broken, or he hurt his leg really bad from falling through the hole. They get him. And, this has been a traumatic experience for Ichiro. Ooh, he's crying in his friends. And it's a touching moment. But he beat the bank robbers. So he's big news in Japan now. Uh-oh, we went overtime. I didn't think it was going to take this long to do this movie. I really didn't. So his mother sends him off to school as usual, and it's a touching little moment because she's like crying because she knows her son just had an ordeal the night before with bank robbers that were going to try to kill him. So she's like, I'm probably going to stay home more and not work as much, and he's happy to hear that. And the news reporters are waiting outside, and he tells them, "I wasn't alone. Minya was with me." And the neighbor has to explain to the news guys, "Okay, let me explain this to you. This kid is weird." No, he didn't say that. But he's like, "Minya is the hero of him. He is Godzilla's son, and he lives on Monster Island, and the boy worships him." And the news guys are like, "Oh, yeah, okay." That's the next line. So Ichiro meets up with his little girlfriend there, and they're off to school. And of course, you know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen next. It's inevitable. Gabara's gang.
Ichiro, what do you got? Give me your lunch money.
Whatever. Put any line here that bullies say. And Ichiro, you see the bottom right slide there. Ichiro's like, "I've had it with this kid. I'm going to beat his freaking ass right now." And he knocks him over, and they fight, and he knocks him over again, and all of his gang are like, there they are. What's going on? And he beats him soundly. And then he walks over to the guy's motorcycle, the guy that's painting the thing, because they asked him earlier, they say, "Look, we won't mess with you anymore if you push the guy's horn on his motorcycle while he's painting." So Ichiro marches over there. Yeah, he starts hitting the guy's horn. And the guy's like, "Hey, get away from me, my boy. Go. And, we have one of those little Japanese comic moments where the guy falls off the ladder and the paint falls right on his face. It was inevitable, like I said before. Go! And again, this guy's been in a lot of the Toho stuff too. He's been in a lot of the movies. He's in Rodan. He's in Dagora, the space monster, and he's the painting guy in this one. So Ichiro, he sees the Gabara gang and everybody laughing. "Oh, he did it! And he runs off. And he runs up to the train tracks where his dad is coming up on the train. Just happens to be coming up at the exact right time to be coming up on. And Ichiro's like, "Hey, Dad, whatever that guy says, I did it." I don't know why the kid sounds like Joe Pesci now, but there it is.
"Hey, whatever he said, I did it, Dad. Wow."
What? Okay, I'll take care of it, son. Because again, his dad knows that, he had an ordeal last night with 2 bank robbers who were going to try to kill him. So, he'll stave off this guy, this painting guy with the white paint all over him. So he does. He gets out of the train and he talks to the guy, and the guy's, oh, that kid. And he goes, oh, that's my son. And Jichiro catches up with the rest of the gang. They all come back together in the end of the movie. Happy music. They all go to school together, and everything's cool now for the kid. He's, no more trouble with Gabara and his gang. He's one of the gang now. And that's it. So again, the movie was more about the kid than Godzilla, but
Oh, there you go. That's all right. That's all right.
Godzilla -1 is more about the kamikaze, the failed kamikaze pilot and all his friends than it is Godzilla,
There you go.
So.
Well, it was a crowd pleaser. I think the cadets really like. What do you think, cadets? Do you like this one? I think this one went over pretty well. It was pretty entertaining, fast-paced. The kid wasn't as annoying. The kid wasn't as annoying as usual to you right now. So that's always a plus. We always
we get to see a kid running around in a yellow hat and shorts all the time, talking to monsters. Talking to monsters, what else are you gonna do?
There you go, of course.
Absolutely. All right, so this is it for the year.
Back? Yeah, when are we coming back?
We'll come back probably second week in January, I'm guessing.
All right.
And we'll finish up season 4. And we'll start on to season 5 probably a couple months after that. We got like 8 more movies, I think, to do. So we probably got. I'm speaking Japanese.
There you go. We needed some general noises. And if people, people start to miss us and all that, that's fine. They can go to the YouTube. There's some beautiful new work on the YouTube. You can go there. You can watch all the ones you missed. You can
101 episodes. You'll find something you like. 101 episodes.
Yes. And you can comment, and we'll see your comments, and we can comment back. So you still have, this interaction with us.
Yeah.
See, there you go. JD said you made him fall in love with this training film. That's how I felt too.
Well, it's worth a watch. And definitely go see Godzilla -1 while you can, while it's still in the States and in Canada, because it's the best human story in any Godzilla movie. So again, it just happens to have Godzilla in it too, and he's badass again. So yeah, definitely go see it, and go see it in a theater that has good sound, like Dolby or THX sound, so you can actually feel the movie as you're watching it. There's definitely some nod from this new director to Spielberg and to Jaws in particular. You'll see it. It's very evident. And again, they've got some of the classic kaiju music from the early films that's been redone by a new composer. They got the Godzilla theme. They get some other themes, familiar themes from the Godzilla films, and it's just a really, really good movie. It's a good movie. You should catch it while you can, and catch it the Japanese version with American subtitles, or with English subtitles, I should say. It's good. Go see it.
Oh, excellent. Yes, and JD just pointed out that we are almost at 300 subscribers on our YouTube. So everybody make sure, I know that most of you like to watch us live on the Facebook, but if you go over to the YouTube and if you hit subscribe, that helps us over there. We love doing that. And it's got, Rory Penland did a lot of work on it recently. So you're going to see some differences, a little easier to look at, a little easier on the eyes.
I mean, I highly recommend 2 guys and sometimes a gal watching movies. That's a lot of fun to watch. Rory Penland, Manny Zamora,
Manny and Rory,
that cookie nutty Renee Yaworsky. She's a doll.
Watch
it. They're a lot of fun. They talk about different movies, different types of movies, different actors, actresses, and they've got like 26 or 27 shows there you can watch over the holidays. Highly recommend it.
I highly recommend it too. I think it's going to be fantastic. So I'm looking forward.
They'll have 100 shows someday. It'll happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. Okay. Well, happy holidays to everyone. Everyone look out for an It's Casual holiday special that will be coming up at some point before Christmas. They have yet to schedule it, is my understanding, but they are going to schedule it. And when they do, you will love to be involved, right? Have you been hearing about that, General? There's something going on.
Yeah, they're gonna open up to let anybody come in and say their holiday wishes and or sing a holiday song if they like. So it should be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, happy
It's
holidays,
casual holiday
everybody.
special.
Yes, absolutely. And we'll be there. I'll watch it when they air it, I'll definitely watch it.
We'll certainly be watching.
Yeah. All right. So good night, everybody. And whoa, lots coming in. Thank you, cadets. We love you. We value all of your comments as they come in. And thank you for watching, everybody. All
Again,
right.
happy holidays, and keep an eye out for those big monsters.